because I believe this pack is not trash. It's just dumb. With The Sims 4 Home Chef Hustle having been released in the last few weeks, The Sims now has 19 different stuff packs, and we're going to rate them all, and I'm not going to be kind. So here we are. We have all of our stuff packs down here, as well as every single other pack, because this is the only type that I could find, but it's fine. We make do with what we have. So we're going to start from the very first stuff pack to the newest stuff pack, which means that we're starting with Luxury Party. Luxury Party only came with 12 build items. Only 12, of which I don't think I've ever used. If you look at this item category list, I could not tell you the last time I used any of these items, nor could I tell you the last time I used any of these cast items. So with that, we are putting Luxury Party in trash because, well, it was the first stuff pack and it was the first one of its type. It's trash. It's truly trash. Now, Perfect Patio is a little bit better. It is the second stuff pack. It has significantly more items, including a counter set, a grill, a bar, that sort of stuff, as well as a hot tub and this one very specific clutter item that is a set of hot sauces that I actually use a lot. So this is gonna be, I use some of it because some of it I do actually use regularly, especially in like my outdoor patios, but I also do see some of it inside, like the hot sauces, or there's this one There's this one lantern that I use a lot for decor. And it has light up chess pieces, which sometimes I'll make an outdoor chessboard out of, and that's really fun. Now, Cool Kitchen is next. I think a Cool Kitchen was the very first stuff pack I personally purchased, and I love it a lot. I really like Cool Kitchen. I don't know if I would say I need it, but I do use a lot of the items regularly. The fridge and the stove are probably my most used fridge and stove because they're kind of in like that middle range of they're not super fancy looking, but they're not really cheap looking, and they're just like nice stainless steel. The cutting board is, I use it for everything. The range hood, great. And just overall, I like the items. So you know what? I think we are going to put it in needed because I do love a lot of those items and I use them all the time. All right, now for Spooky Stuff. Spooky Stuff is the fourth stuff pack and I think it's a fun pack, but when are you going to be using it regularly? It's a very specific stuff pack, which is what stuff packs are meant to be. They're supposed to be like very specific gameplay and build by and casts. I personally don't use a lot of the casts. I don't play a lot of gameplay, especially I don't use Halloween gameplay very often. And I don't use Spooky Stuff very often unless I'm doing a Halloween build. So I've been using a lot of it recently, but between the months of like mid-November, like Thanksgiving time, to about September, I never use it. So I'm gonna put it in meh. It's good for very specific style of build, but there are also repeat items in it from seasons. You see, there's this jack-o'-lantern lamp that lights up. It has 3 heads of jack-o'-lanterns, and it's the same item from seasons, just recolored. So that is an unfortunate occurrence in this pack, but otherwise, it's an all right pack. It's an all right pack. All right, Movie Hangout. I actually personally really enjoy Movie Hangout, especially the front door that you get with this pack. The base color is very bright and colorful and patterned, but there's a few plain swatches underneath that. There's a black, there's like a white, there's like a cream, and they're very good. And I like them a lot. Also, the curtains in this pack are probably my most used curtains, as well as the little poof chair that you can sit on. I use that all the time. So this is a pretty great pack. I wouldn't say I need it. I could live without it, but it's a pretty great pack. Now, Romantic Garden. I love Romantic Garden stuff. I love landscaping. I love doing the outdoors, but I just have a hard time using this pack. My personal style of landscaping is very overgrown, vines, that sort of thing. And this pack, it's kind of a little bit more manicured. A lot of the stuff, it's hedges and trellises and things like that I don't use that often because it doesn't fit my build style. Like, I feel like it doesn't match the general vibe of other packs landscaping, so it doesn't match with things and I have a hard time using it. But that being said, I do love this pack though, even if I don't use it very often, and I am trying to make more instances where I can use it because it's a good pack. So I'm gonna put it in, I use some of it right now just because I love it. I just don't use it very often, but I do like it though. You know, does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Now, kids room stuff is pretty good. I like this pack. I use it a lot. I use it more recently than I had before. Don't know why, but I've started using it a lot more recently. I like that all the furniture matches. It's fun to make a very matchy furniture set bedroom and all the colors match. So I think it's a fun way to use in kids rooms. However, outside of being kids rooms, it's not useful. A lot of the packs, I can use things outside of what their original purpose was, but this one is hard to use outside of their original purpose. formulas. And for me, that's gonna put it in, I use some of it because I do use some of it, but I can't use all of it because it's all for kids' rooms. And I don't do a lot of kids' rooms. So we're putting it in, I use some of it. All right, backyard stuff. I love the concept of backyard stuff. I'm not sure if I like the execution. This is also one of the very last stuff packs I purchased. Nothing in it screams at me to use. The only item I use regularly is the bowl of lemons. There's like a square bowl of lemons and I use that in pretty much every single kitchen. But aside from that, I find myself not using items from this pack very often. I'll once in a while use the fence, but the fence is really tall and it is often too tall. There's also a lot of wall decor and I find myself not using that because I have no need to use wind chimes or things like that. So with this, I'm gonna put it in meh. I could live without the lemon bowl. Would I like to? No, but I could. I could easily live without the lemon bowl. I could make my own lemon bowl. So we're gonna put it in meh. All right, vintage glamour. I love the vibe of vintage glamour. It's very art deco-y and it's very fun. I love an art deco build, but I wouldn't say I use a lot of it though. I love finding a way to use the bar, which is a globe that opens up to be a bar, as well as the vanity. I love using the vanity to make it into like a functional desk or functional vanity. I think that's really, really fun. But aside from that, I don't use a lot of it. But this pack did come with gameplay with having a butler. I've never actually used a butler though, and I feel like I should do that. I also don't use the cast in this pack, so we're gonna put this in meh because if it wasn't in my game, I wouldn't be missing out on anything. There's something I would be like, oh, I don't have this in my game, I can't build anything. So it's gonna be in meh, mainly because I haven't played with a butler board. I probably should do that. That could be a lot of fun, but that's a later thing. That's a later thing. All right, the next one is bowling night stuff, and when I tell you that this is one of my favorite stuff packs, I'm not lying. Like I don't know why I love this pack so much. Actually, I do, because it's mid-century. It's a mid-century modern kind of vibe with the furniture. They all have really fun swatches, but they also have like a few neutral swatches as well. I also, for no apparent reason, am obsessed with putting a bowling pin in practically every single one of my builds. Why? I don't know. I could not tell you why I had to put a bowling pin in each of my builds, but I do, and I need a bowling pin in real life. And I just love the bowling pin, and I don't know if I could live without the bowling pin. So I'm gonna put in, I need it because I need the bowling pin. Genuinely, I don't know why. If I could tell you a reason why I need it so badly, I would, but I don't have a reason. Also, the cast is pretty cute. The cast is pretty cute, and the gameplay is fun. The bowling skill, it's a good time. I need to know who at EA went, you know what stuff pack The Sims needs? Fitness stuff. Whose idea was this pack? Because I don't know if you saw my last video, but I tried to build a house with only fitness stuff and base game. And when I tell you it was ridiculously hard, it was ridiculously hard. Like, I don't know, like, why are the items the way they are? I don't like the items in this pack. I literally only bought this pack when I bought it because I wanted the light that was in it because everyone was using it. And then I purchased it, and then I decided that I didn't even like the light once I had it in my game. There's not a single item in this pack that I use regularly at all. So I'm putting it in trash. I don't know if other people agree with me on that, but I'm putting it in trash because I don't use it. And we have basically the same stuff in base game. It doesn't add any new functionalities. It just adds more workout equipment, which we have in base game. Toddler stuff. Toddler stuff is a good pack. I think toddler stuff is fun. The reason I purchased it was for a specific build. What was that build now? I don't remember. It was years ago. But I purchased it specifically so I could use the string lights that come with it. Because the string lights are a really solid item. Why they're in a pack for toddlers, I don't quite understand, but it's fun. I love the string lights. I do also use the toddler stuff. So the slide I use in my 100 challenge all the time. It helps bring up the movement skills so quickly. It's amazing. So I love that. I love a lot of the items in it. But because of the string lights, which I use in like every single build, and plus the slide, we're gonna put it in pretty great because it's pretty great. It's a pretty great pack. I think it's good. Laundry Day is probably top 3 favorite stuff packs. It is just so good. When I purchased it, I loved the laundry element of gameplay. I use it all the time. I love the decor. It's very boho. I love boho. I use Laundry Day in probably every single build in some capacity. So it's in need it. I need Laundry Day. My only issue with it is that the laundry gameplay, at least for me personally, does not work anymore. And you can't wash your laundry anymore, which is dumb. But I don't do a lot of gameplay, so it doesn't affect me that much, but it's a needed pack. Laundry Day is a needed. The rugs in Laundry Day make it all worth it, to be honest. But it has good clutter, and the light, the like ceiling light, I love the ceiling light in it. It's just, it's a very good pack. I highly recommend Laundry Day. Now on to my first pet stuff. My first pet stuff is a interesting stuff pack because it is a DLC for a DLC. You can't use the majority of my first pet stuff without having cats and dogs. Why they chose to release a stuff pack that required another pack is beyond me. With that being said, I actually do enjoy this pack a little bit. It has some fun build buy items. Honestly, the rodent in this pack makes life so much more fun to add a rodent into your games. If you have this pack and you aren't using a rodents, you should use the rodents. Also, the blinds in this pack are really good. Like, you can use them really well and really easily, and they size down well. Aside from that, it's just a bunch of furniture that I don't use, but the rodents are great. And because I don't do gameplay, I don't use the cast, but I do love the hamster costume. So for those reasons, we're putting it in. I use some of it because I believe this pack is not trash. It's just dumb. All right, this pack was controversial when it came out, but Machino stuff is an underrated pack. I use the Machino stuff windows, which is the whole reason I purchased this pack. It was to use the windows, and I use it in any build that I can. I love Machino stuff. I think the clutter is good. I think the patterns are fun. I think the whole photography studio is a fun gameplay element. I also use the lights that it comes with. It comes with like photography lighting to light up my builds to take screenshots of. So I do use it for its intended purposes. Use that information as you will. Now the cast is a little bit awkward. The cast is, it's a choice. I don't use the cast when I play this game. Maybe I'll use like the boots. It comes with like a pair of combat boots. So maybe I'll use that, but otherwise I don't use the cast. But I think Machino stuff is pretty great. Now, Tiny Living is immediately, I need Tiny Living. I cannot play without Tiny Living. I utilize Tiny Living in every single build, gameplay, everything. The functionality you get from having a small or a tiny home is phenomenal. This gameplay element is just my absolute favorite thing. I use it for all of my gameplay. 100 challenge, micro home. All of my builds, micro homes. All of my gameplay, it's in a micro home or a tiny home. Like, I use it all the time. As someone who likes to speed through gameplay and just kind of plays to like have a lot of achievements and have a lot of skills and not so much storytelling, I love this pack. I also use the build buy all the time. It has some of my absolutely favorite items and it's a need. I need this pack in my life. It is so good. If you do not have Tiny Living, I really recommend Tiny Living. Now, Nifty Knitting. I did not purchase Nifty Knitting. And if it was left up to me, I probably would not have purchased Nifty Knitting, but my sister purchased it because she uses my account and she likes to knit in real life, so she bought it for herself in The Sims. I was pleasantly surprised by this pack, but I don't use it a lot. I'm not a big fan of the colors of the build items. The gameplay is good. I do enjoy the knitting as a skill. It's great for my 100-day challenge. I'll have my matriarch learn how to knit, and then she'll knit to sell items, and then she'll teach her kids how to knit for their skills. It works really well for those types of things. I also do like the rocking chairs. I think the rocking chairs are very, very cute, but aside from those two things, the knitting element and the rocking chair, I really don't use it. But there are a few cast items that I use. I do like the pearled jeans. I think those are cute. And the debug in this pack is actually really great. It has a lot of debug rugs and decor and furniture and clothing, and so the debug menu is great. So I'm actually gonna put this in pretty great because I do use Nifty Knitting a lot, especially the rugs. Even though it's not one of my favorites, I do use it a lot. Paranormal. So Paranormal was one of the first stuff packs that came out after I had joined the online Sims community. I wasn't ever really part of the Sims community until I was like late in college and even was like around when I got married. So I was late to the Sims community online a little bit, but this was one of the first packs, was Paranormal and Eco Living. They both came out right around when I was joining the online community. So because of that, it holds a special place in my heart, but it's also a very good pack. So right off the bat, I'm putting it in pretty great because I do use a lot of the items, especially the clutter and decor, but also some great colorful items. And it goes great with like a boho style, which is I do a lot. Also the mini cow plant, I love it. I've also been using a lot of the plants recently from this pack, and I just think it's great. And I actually do use the cast a decent amount when I'm using cast as well. However, I don't use the gameplay very often, but again, I don't do a lot of gameplay, but if I were doing a lot of gameplay, I probably wouldn't. I feel like it's kind of out of the way gameplay and it doesn't fit into a lot of things, so I don't use the gameplay, but I do think it's a pretty great pack in terms of building and cast, so it is a pretty great pack. Now for our newest pack, Home Chef Hustle. I was so excited for this pack. I had high expectations for this pack, and I don't think my expectations were met. While I am still enjoying the pack, I have some mixed feelings about it. I was so excited for a new kitchen set, a new counter set, fridges, stoves, all of that, and I think I don't like the ones that we got. Some of the swatches are okay. Some of the swatches are really bad, but overall they're just okay. The counters. I do think the gameplay elements are fun. The tabletop cookers, the food selling table is fun, but it is also just a recycling of old gameplay that we already have. So we didn't actually get a lot of new gameplay. It's just the interactions with the waffle iron, the mixer, and the pizza oven. Aside from that, we don't have really any new gameplay from it because we already have the selling tables as a feature in several packs. But some of the elements of this pack are great. I love the shelves items that it comes with. I think those are pretty great. I love the range hood. The wallpaper, like the tile wall texture, it's something of my dreams. It is a wallpaper of my dreams. So because of that, we're going to put it in pretty great because there are some really good items, but it does fall a little flat for me, unfortunately. But I have been using the clutter. I do enjoy the clutter, but I feel like the main purpose of this pack is to use the counters and to use the tabletop appliances, both of which I'm kind of indifferent about. So here's my official ranking of all of the stuff packs, with Cool Kitchen, Bowling Night, Laundry Day, and Tiny Living at the very top in the I Need It category. Movie Hangout, Toddler Stuff, Machino, Knitting, Paranormal, and Home Chef Hustle in pretty great. Perfect Patio, Romantic Garden, Kids Room, and My First Pet Stuff in some of it. Spooky, Backyard, and Vintage Glamour in Meh. And Luxury Party and Fitness Stuff in trash. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree with my rankings? What are your rankings? How do they compare to mine? I would love to hear what you have to say. And this is all my opinion, so if you don't agree, that's okay too. We're all allowed to have our own thoughts, and we're allowed to all have our own thoughts and feelings about different packs. And I'd love to know what your favorite stuff packs are, and do you like fitness stuff? Because I don't think I've met anyone who likes fitness stuff, and so I need to know, do you like the fitness stuff pack? Because I think it is pointless. But thank you so much for watching, and if you want to join us over on Twitch, I stream Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern, and we play The Sims all the time, so feel free to join us over there. It's linked down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!